Hey guys, I'm back with part 2 here. As you can see, I'm starting to mock up the hot side pipe here. I've got some 3.5 inch. I've got one U-bend here. I've already put one cut on it. Got a nice tack welded right here. For some reason, this pipe didn't fit over this flange real well, so I went to the exhaust shop. I was like, can you guys open it up a little bit just so I can fit it over here? Guy just cranked on it and opened it way up farther than I wanted to. So I've got this nice little bump in here now, but it shouldn't really affect anything. It's just aesthetics, and I'm gonna wrap it anyways, so shouldn't ever have to see that. And here's the mount that's all finished up. You can see that it's pretty solid here. You really don't see it move too much. When I do have the housing on there, it does vibrate a little bit, so I think I'm going to add another plate to the front here. I may run another plate on the back as well, so I can get these holes right here. Instead of running a stud, I'll just run a bolt all the way through and put a nut on the back. That way, if anything should happen and these welds do break, at least the turbo is still bolted to something on here, because these are never going to break. These are really nice and strong. I TIG welded these, so they're kind of thin, and they don't... I'm just worried, so it's more of a peace of mind thing than anything else. I'm sure it's fine, because you can see this thing, it moves the whole motor when I jerk on it. I've tapped it with a hammer a few times just to make sure it wouldn't bend or anything. Stays in the same spot, so this is more just for me than anything else. Once I get that other plate on there, I'll probably have to get a couple longer screws here, and it'll fit over this little stud I put in here too, and it'll fit fine. Hopefully it'll tighten everything up. We'll see what I can get done tonight. I'll get back to you once I get another plate on here. I did talk to the machine shop too. Once I get another plate on here, I'm going to have them plane this just to make sure everything's flat and I didn't warp anything with all the heat on it. And once I get that and more of the exhaust pipe mocked up, and this is kind of where I want it, and it's real close to the exhaust manifold, kind of close to the block, it should clear the oil drain on this turbo really easily. So I'm going to be taking the plug out of the block so I can install my second turbo for the oil drain on it. Right here is the oil drain. I don't know how well you can see it. It's in the front part of the block, right underneath the cylinder, or the oil filter. It's pretty easy to get to, and it's just a freeze plug that's in there, so it's pretty easy to get out too. I'll just clean it real fast, and then I'll hit it with a hammer and a screwdriver to pull it up, and then I should just be able to pull it out. And then I have another one I can put in there to help. It's just a press-in one, so I can put in my oil line into that, and then I'll be running dual oil lines on the truck, or dual oil drains as well. If you plan on changing it, I probably wouldn't even worry about this step too much, but it's still nice to get stuff out of here. That way nothing drops down in that hole and restricts putting in your new bung and adapter. So that's good enough for me. I'm going to take my flat blade screwdriver here and a 3-pound sledge. Just put it right at the top of the freeze plug here. Just give it just a little tap should do. You don't have to go all gung-ho on this. They're pretty... They're not in there real tight, so... Just like that. You can see I got a little bit of paint residue in there. And I can just go in here, grab that, rock it back and forth a little bit. She comes right out. Now there's a little bit of paint and stuff I see sitting in there, so I'm just going to use my rag again. Use a little bit more brake clean. And I'm going to just pull it out as best I can. Just make a small little cone. Round and out. Round and out. Round and out. Here it is, all nice and lubed up. Stick it in here. We'll just give her a nice little tap. And there she is, seated nicely in there. And now I'll just have to put my hose on there, and then I've got another Cummins drain line I can use. So then it should just look just like this one that I did for the other turbo that I had it on here when I was just a single turbo for the S400. So hopefully it should just be about that easy. We can only hope. So when I start putting everything together, we'll see how well that goes. This is what I've got going on here now. This is all mocked up. Sorry I didn't get a whole lot of this filmed. It's a bit of a pain trying to get all the shots set up and everything when I'm trying to get this done. Most of the time I've only got like a couple hours at night, so I just come home and I just start making this stuff. Not really too enthused about how this intercooler piping came out. I didn't really want to put it over the valve cover. I kind of wanted to, if you've seen it mocked up on the engine stand, I kind of wanted to come over here and just come straight down, kind of like a rainbow, but it wouldn't fit under the hood that way, so this is how it turned out. Just 390s straight down to the intercooler down there. This is actually a piece off a boat I actually found on Amazon. It was super cheap. It's like a 6-inch 90-degree elbow. Right there it says Marine something or other. Got it on Amazon for like $60. I think it's going to be perfect for getting that big filter down there. And it's going to be picking up lots of cold air, so that's really what I wanted. This pipe was a little bit tricky. I couldn't find a 90 at my local store to get, so I actually found this one on eBay. It was a 3.5 inch, and it's got like a 2-inch radius. It is super tight, worked perfectly for what I needed. And just welded that up. Had to put a little bit of an extension on here to get to here. Also had to cut this down a little bit on my S500. I had to take about 1.5 inches out of there because it was kind of sitting way over here. So I took that down. There's like that big rib right after that first machine piece, so I just took it down to that rib, welded it onto here. This is a weld-on fitting I got from a machine shop, so I can run this V-band on here. So there shouldn't be any leaks. It's an O-ring fit, same way with this one is an O-ring fit as well. This is steel pipe onto aluminum, so you have to do an O-ring anyways. But that's how it ended up working out, and it looks great. And it really strengthened everything up too. It's great. I mean, everything feels really good and tight. And then I can show you. Here's my wastegate that I got, which is I got at a great price. It's a 50mm Turbo Smart HP gate. The HP doesn't stand for horsepower, it just stands for high pressure. So this thing will open at 35 psi, which is what you need for some of these big diesel things. And then you can see the hot pipe right there going from my S400 coming down, and then I had to go up a little bit onto here and go up to my S500. I wanted to use my 90 there, but a little bit of a straight piece in between and that 90. So that's how I ended up getting that to work. But get my AC to work with this turbo configuration. You can see that line right there. It goes almost right directly right in the middle of this down. But this line's gonna have to be relocated. I talked to my local hydraulic shop. They said they can try to match up these fittings and extend this pipe some. They might put a crimp or something like that in the middle, and I can turn this at a 90, bring it over here. Dryer over there. Not really what I wanted to do, but it may not be a bad thing. It seems to be a decent amount of room there, and then at least I'll have my fill over there and everything. This is another piece of the AC I really don't like. I mean, it's that thin line there. It's got the orifice tube in it. It comes up, comes over, wraps down, and then comes back up. I may just cut it and straighten it out and just bring it straight over here. I don't know why Dodge didn't do that from the get-go, but you know, it is what it is. It's just one of those things. So I'll also show where I'm mounting my wastegate. My turbo manifold didn't come with a wastegate, so I have to kind of mount this thing myself. And what I'm planning on doing is mounting it right at the base of the turbo here, and then point it straight at the hot pipe. So that's how it would end up looking, and I think it'll do pretty good there. It shouldn't really be in that much of the way. I can't get a tight enough 5-inch bend to get it to really hit. Like I'm gonna have to sneak it up around here and pretty much straight it up, so like as tight of 90 as I can, and then down and in. You can see I got like a 15-inch my clearance on that. This hasn't ran yet or anything. I'm just all this up just to see what fits, what doesn't fit. Some things are great, some things not so much. I was actually pleasantly surprised that snorkel I found, that 90-degree one off of a boat, fit so well. And then I've got to hook up my oil drain and then make an oil feed line for up there. So I'm going to use another one of the Cummins ones like this. They take heat really well. And one other thing I forgot I gotta make. I gotta make a charging wire for this. I got some 4-gauge cable and some fusible link at the local parts store, so I'm gonna start making that. I may set up the camera, show you guys how I make that. I'll definitely set it up so I make, because we'll get a 90 down and around here. I may have to ding the tubing a little bit to get it around this, but with a 5-inch tube, a little bit of a Gonna hurt it any at all. It's not gonna restrict flow or anything like that. It's gonna be mostly for clearance. If I had it all to do over again, I'd probably push this in a little bit further, and then yeah, maybe make a tighter bend here. That way, if I really wanted to, instead of running all this extra length of pipe, because it's probably twice as long as it needs to be, I could have saved myself on that. But it looks kind of cool having both Borg Warner logos on both turbos hitting you right in the face as soon as you open the hood. But that's pretty much what I got right now. I'll see what else I can get put together today, and I'll get back to you. I'm starting to make the downpipe here. You can see I put a 90 on here on the back of the flange on this S500, and I'm trying to finagle it down there past so it doesn't hit the wheel liner and it doesn't hit the hot pipe. And I think that might do it. And now I'm either gonna have to use a 45 or a another 90 on here to get what I want. This big pipe is just a pain to work with. That 45 might work best because it looks like it goes back there pretty good how I want like that. So I may just whack off a little bit of that, see how it looks. If not, I do have another 90. I just hate cutting this big pipe because it's expensive and you can't return it after you cut it. So yeah, we shall see. I'll give this one a cut, see what it looks like. But you can see the 90 up there on the turbo. It is pretty close to the evaporator, so I think I am going to be pretty good here. I may have to disconnect the line for the evaporator to run underneath my mount, or above my mount here. There's some pretty tight lines and stuff. I'll have to get a light out here so you can see everything. But yeah, we'll just give it a cut here on this 45. Hopefully it puts me right where I want to be, and then we can go from there. Alrighty guys, I got the 45 cut. It fits okay. I think I'm gonna have to cut some of that. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. I think I'm gonna have to cut some more of this 90 off so I can fit this up here higher, and that way it doesn't hit anything, but I can't trim too much of it off. I may have to cut a little bit of that short too, but I think if I take, let's see, maybe 3 more inches off the bottom of here, like probably right there, I think it'll fit. So then I can start working on the rest of the downpipe. I'll get that off. Hey guys, I'm back. I got the downpipe for the most part made. I did have to put another 45 down there at the bottom right by the transmission right here. And I had to make a little special cut on it. It was about a 10-degree cut I had to put on it, and I had to put it on the right spot so I could get it past the transmission so it didn't hit anything. But it looks pretty good, doesn't hit anything, doesn't rub on anything, so I'm pretty happy with it. You can see it's massive, and it was kind of a pain to snake in there. It'll end up taking, I need to put another 45 at the bottom so it goes level with the bottom of the truck. But it'll have 3 45s in it and 190, so it really wasn't a cheap downpipe to make. So yeah, this is what it ended up being. Like I said, I'm pretty happy with it. And what it's going to connect to is I went to my local exhaust place, which is a Heartthrob Exhaust, and picked up a 5-inch tailpipe kit. I gotta weld this up. Hopefully it looks pretty good under here. Like I said, 5-piece. Got to weld all the hangers and everything on here. It's better than the $500 I wanted for the catback piece. So that's what I've got going on right now. It's like 30 degrees out here, and trying to get this done before it snows, but it's starting to snow already. So just wanted to get it done before it actually starts to stick. So that's it for now. Hopefully this weekend I can have most of it all put together and at least welded up and taken a powder coating. I do need to figure out another my air filter over there, and then after that hopefully it starts in the winter with one battery. Otherwise I'll just have to hook it up and try to jump start it every time I need to move it in the winter. Anything else? You guys hit me up, let me know what's going on. Hopefully on my next video I'll have it running and we can go for a test drive on it. See what it sounds like, what it does, how it feels, and how smoky it is. So I'll catch you in the next one.